Hello, everyone, and welcome to the sixth edition of the Around the World podcast, where I, Lucas, and my friend Jacob Hernandez talk about football and the interesting topics surrounding the beautiful game. We are back, Jacob, after taking a week off for episode 6. How you doing, Jacob? How was your break?
I'm doing pretty good. I mean, break was all right. Stayed here in Ohio.
Same
We're back
here.
from spring break. We have some weird 2-hour classes. Block schedule here coming up. So we have a big 2-hour chunk today. Mr. Connor, our teacher, is not here today. The computer that we record this on was left out, and it says "Do not disturb" on it. We are ignoring that sign. So if you do not hear from us, you know why. We broke some rules. But hopefully we do not get reprimanded for ignoring the "Do not disturb" paper, as the computer was left open. So I don't think we really should be in any trouble if we...
No, so the schedule is kind of messing us up. So we're basically recording 2 episodes on Tuesday, and they'll both be released tomorrow. So, we're previewing the Champions League today, and our predictions won't come out till the first 2 games, which is Man City and Liverpool and Benfica, which they'll be done by tonight. But we're recording this the day before, so
recording on Tuesday, uploading both on Wednesday, when I'm here for only an hour of the 2 hours, and then I'm leaving to go to work, which I'm not sure is legal to go to work during school, but...
Senioritis, Jacob, senioritis.
Yay.
All right, so it's been a week. It hasn't been too much going on in the Premier League. Brentford got a 4-1 win over Chelsea. Christian Eriksen scored at the same place where he kind of almost died, honestly, when he went into his cardiac arrest for the Euros, which is honestly kind of nice and really good to see.
Nice to see him score. Mm-hmm. I believe I saw a stat that said Chelsea came back from their international break when they won the Champions League and lost 4-1. So they came back again this time around, came back from international break, lost 4-1. So maybe another UCL on the cards for Chelsea. A little coincidence there.
I mean, they're still alive, so, maybe. But, yeah, good for Christian Eriksen. You never thought he'd been playing for Brentford. But, here we are.
You could definitely see he's above the Brentford level. But it's nice to just see him play. I'm sure he doesn't mind where he's playing right now. He gets to restart his footballing career, even with the pacemaker in or whatever he has. Because he obviously couldn't play in Italy with the rules there. So it's nice to see him back anywhere. He might get a big summer transfer.
Who knows? You just love to see him playing soccer or football again, because that was very scary last summer. Not really too many big Premier League results. Spurs did win 5-1. United, Leicester City tied. Crystal Palace did shred Arsenal 3-0 yesterday.
3-0. It's all right. Arsenal still has a game in hand on Tottenham to go into 4th place in the Champions League spot. So hopefully they can win that one. They have a couple games in hand on the teams behind them. So they're not looking too bad right now. They still have, a leg up or a hand up in the race for top 4. So
that kind of segue into our next thing with the Premier League. We're just gonna give our current thoughts on the Premier League the Prem table, just because there has been too many big results and we missed a week, so it'd be really hard to kind of recap all that has happened. Anything that jumps out to you immediately looking at this table?
The Man City and Liverpool race is a lot tighter than I would think.
1 point difference.
1 point. City's been throwing away a couple of results lately. Some pretty decent form in the last 5, but a draw and a loss in there. When you're challenging for a title, you can't really have those results. Liverpool won all 5. And then Chelsea behind them, they're not really in the race. They're so far behind. So Liverpool, City, race of their own.
For the 3rd straight year, it's pretty much Man City versus Liverpool for the title. Spurs have shot all the way up to 4th last time we talked.
They were like 7th, 6th or 7th, or something like that.
Yeah, they played one more game than Chelsea and Arsenal, but at the same points as Arsenal, and they're 5 points behind Chelsea. But how about the Spurs? They hit a good run of form after Antonio Conte was just basically saying how he might not be cut up for the job about a month ago. Talking about the Spurs' current squad. It really isn't that. Besides Harry Kane and Son.
Heung-min Son.
There's not really any mega superstars where you say they're kind of world class talents.
Christian Romero, he's pretty good. Lloris is always obviously always been a pretty good keeper.
Eric Dyer.
Eric Dyer, what a player he is. Oh, and also, we apologize for my level of speaking. You know, allergies here in Ohio.
Yeah,
The weather
dude.
changes
Oh my
by about
gosh.
50 degrees.
Dude, we went through 3 different seasons this past week.
So
So
I don't have a voice. I might be sniffling a little bit. I
you might
cannot
be
speak.
gagging again.
I might be gagging again. I cannot breathe through my nose. So we'll try and just bump up the volume here. So Lucas may sound like he's shouting, but that is to make sure that I sound somewhat,
Yeah.
audible.
West Ham's kind of dropped. They're in 6th now. Man United dropped in 7th last time we talked, but they're both on 51 points. Man United has a game in hand. They still don't seem like a good team last time we talked. So I mean,
United in the Conference League? Europa Conference League for United?
Arsenal. You think they'll get top 4? I know we talked about this
They
couple
hit
weeks
the injury
ago.
bug, which
They
is
did.
not what they need. Tierney, Partey, both injured, probably both for a while. Nuno Tavares, he's played like poo. 22-year-old left back from Portugal, thought he was going to be great. He has not played well. He actually is one of the worst left backs I've ever seen. He's been subbed off in the first half or earlier in the past games he's played in. If I remember correctly, the last time he played, he got subbed off by Tierney in 30 minutes.
Yep.
He didn't even make it to halftime, which is unheard of nowadays. And now he's got subbed off at halftime, so you're playing that bad.
Yeah, I mean, Kieran Tierney's definitely the left back for that team because he's one of the top 5 left backs.
Yeah, I mean he's honestly a future captain of Arsenal if he stays.
Most likely, yeah.
Tavares is just he's really disappointing. I know the transfer fee wasn't that high, but as a young player, you expect a little bit more. You're a backup. You got to put in a shift sometimes. You can't look like the worst defender out of a bad bunch on that day. I mean, Gabriel had a really bad game, but he's obviously started lots of games for us. He has quality, and Tavares just crap the bed. He was honestly so bad.
Yeah. Basically, what we said that can't happen did happen. They can't have an injury bug because of how thin the roster is and how thin of quality they have of talent that can consistently win you Premier League
Granit
games.
Xhaka is going to be playing left back.
Maybe
He's not a left back.
But
he can sub in there on an injury bug, but if Tavares plays really bad, we're gonna have to put in some makeshift left backs. Lucas just pointed out at Bukayo Saka. I mean, he's one of our best attacking players.
You're gonna find him in the attack.
I mean, we have Martinelli, Smith Rowe and Odegaard. We could rotate them in those front 3 spots, but Saka maybe has to push back into left back or right back, which is really not what you need here in a push for the top 4. You can't have one of your best players going into a makeshift position.
Yeah, you look at the front 4, Lacazette, Odegaard, Smith Rowe, Saka. It's a pretty good front 4. They've been doing amazing this year, but if one of them goes down, it's Martinelli and who else?
Literally no one.
They don't have depth.
Pepe, he's injured, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Eddie.
So Pepe's basically done. I mean, we have Eddie Nketiah, and then that's the extent of all of our attacking players.
At least somewhat experience that has played the first team.
I'm looking at FootMob here, and those are the only attackers listed. I mean, they obviously probably have some under 21s or players, stuff like that. But we don't want to play them. I mean, we can recall people from loan maybe. I don't really know though. Pepe injured. Xhaka gonna be playing left back. We might have to put in El Neni.
Mohamed El Neni, let's go.
I mean, Lakanga can come off the bench. He can. So Lakanga is off the bench. I mean, if we play Xhaka at left back or Saka at left back, I don't know. Tomiyasu is also injured. We really don't have anyone left really on the bench. I mean, the bench for last game was filled up with a bunch of academy players.
Yep.
We had Rob Holding on the bench, and then Agungbo, Swanson, and Flores. So no one that I've heard of. I mean, I probably should have, but they're really just young academy players that haven't broke through yet. So maybe we'll see a new talent here.
Maybe. Yeah. That's our thoughts on the Prem table and Arsenal. So I think we should probably move on.
Kind of went on an Arsenal tangent there.
We should probably move on to the Champions League games. The one today that will be already decided after this comes out, Benfica and Liverpool, because we are now in the quarterfinals, I believe.
Yes, quarterfinals.
Benfica and Liverpool. This game's gonna be
in Portugal.
First leg, Liverpool traveling. What are we thinking? What are predictions? What are you thinking?
I said 3-1 Liverpool. I think Salah comes out with a fire under his belly right here. Not making the World Cup.
Yeah.
He's got to show that he's still a top quality player. Because I don't know if he'll come back to Liverpool. There's talks of him not coming back. His agent's not getting the money that he wants. I think he comes out and scores here. Mane's good. Diaz good. Full strength lineup. Benfica, I'm not sure how they made it here. They're definitely the weakest side left.
Yep, definitely. Liverpool got a very lucky draw.
Yeah, I mean, it's in Portugal, so at home for Benfica. So that's why I'm saying they're going to score, or it might be a little bit of a tighter game. But I think Liverpool comes out in either this leg or the next one to advance.
Yeah, about Salah, I would be shocked if Salah or Mane don't leave either the next coming summer or the summer after, because they got Luis Diaz, and both of them are Liverpool legends, and they've accomplished everything they need to accomplish. I mean, they gave him a Prem title that they haven't won in years. So
so maybe one of them leaves. Barcelona, maybe.
Maybe.
Depends if Dembele gets a contract or not.
It's true. Yeah, you went 3-1 Liverpool. That's a pretty good result. I went 2-0 Liverpool. I don't see Benfica really scoring against Liverpool defense. I think that's kind of underrated, and I don't think they get kind of appreciated how elite they are.
Yeah. I mean, Everton, Silva, Nunez, Yaremchuk, they're pretty decent front four. They still might not score.
Yeah. And I don't think Liverpool's going to have a day, since they are traveling to Portugal, where they're going to put 4 or 5.
Definitely not.
I mean, we've seen crazy things happen. We didn't say Bayern was going to put 7 on Salzburg, but here we are.
I mean,
you never know.
Benfica's defense is really experienced, so I don't think they're going to give up that many goals. Grimaldo, then Vertonghen and Otamendi, really experienced. My prediction might be even, really out there. So maybe it's just like a 1-0 grindy result, or a 2-1 or a 1-1. We'll see. We'll see today.
Yeah. But I'm going 2-0 Liverpool, so we shall see. Another big game, but it isn't our game of the week, surprisingly. But the other big game, Manchester City versus Atletico Madrid, which is one of the maybe three really good quarterfinal series.
I think there's 2 really good quarterfinal series here.
Yeah. These 2 really elite teams. This is going to be in Manchester. City of Manchester Stadium, I believe is what it's called, something like that.
The Etihad? Is it still the Etihad? Or
I think it got changed. Because I don't think they're sponsored by Etihad anymore.
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, it might have changed. Atletico Madrid beat Manchester United. You think they'll beat the other Manchester club?
Probably. Actually.
Probably. I mean, we'll see. I mean, Man City.
I think I just zoned out there. And what did you say? You said Atletico beat the other Manchester club? Oh, definitely. They're not beating Manchester City. I just completely blanked. I was not listening. I thought he was saying, "Is Manchester City going to beat Atletico?" I was like, "Yeah, probably." No, I don't think Atletico Madrid's gonna overtake Manchester City here. I think Manchester City's a lot better. I don't think Atletico can grind out results in a Champions League quarterfinal stage.
But can Manchester City, though? Have they ever done that in Champions League yet? They've always kind of folded, which is the one thing. That's the one thing Pep Guardiola has not done, is bringing Manchester City a Champions League. Everything has gone to the Champions League this year for Man City. Like, it's pretty obvious. Obviously, they want to win the league. But
yeah, they've definitely slowed up a little bit in the league, so it's everything's in the Champions League.
And Atletico Madrid, I mean, they're always that team that you always count out. They're always like, yeah, if it's an elite team versus an elite team, they're probably going to lose. But, I mean, they beat Man United, and on paper, people might say Man United's got a better squad.
They might. Ruben Diaz injured, Kyle Walker suspended. So even in England, this might be the leg where Atletico tries to come out and win to see if they can
maybe
hold on to a result in the second leg,
But-
which they're really good at doing. So
Yeah.
I think if Atletico wins here, they go through.
But me and you both don't think that.
We both don't
no.
think that they're going to win this leg.
I would say I agree with you. If they do win here, they're probably going through because they're really good at holding a lead.
Yeah, and they'll be
All
at
black,
home next time.
With whole black and that defense too.
Yeah, they'd be at home holding a lead. Simeone's a god at that.
Yeah.
So I'm saying 4-2 Manchester City, with a different defense stacked up here in this lineup. I'm saying it might be more of a counter-attacking game. They might not be able to just hold their back line, hold the ball, play possession. They might have to kind of go for it. So they might leak a couple goals. That's why I'm saying they're going to give up 2. But their attack is always really good. Foden's a great player. De Bruyne, he always creates. Sterling, Mahrez, both, looking to put some goals in up their values. Sterling might leave. I don't know. Bernardo Silva, he's projected to be in this lineup. He might leave too. We'll see what happens. But City always puts in so many goals. So 4-2.
Yeah. I went 2-1 City. I think Atletico Madrid definitely going to goal, especially now Ruben Diaz and Walker are out. But I think Man City, they're going to try really hard this game, especially because they're home. And they don't really want to have Atletico sit back in the second leg. So
That's the only thing they have to avoid.
And I mean, the City's obviously really good at home, so I can see them just getting a 2-1 result, whether it's I can see it being a counterattacking game. I don't think it's going to be a pretty game where it's, both teams are playing.
Maybe a cool free kick. I don't know.
Maybe. Oh.
Atletico Madrid does foul a lot, so
They do, yeah.
free kick goal.
Yeah, maybe.
Predict that. Predicted a free kick goal. We'll see.
Yeah. We'll see. Yeah, the second, my opinion on who's going to win this series is really going to have to decide who does well in the first leg. I got to see how this first leg goes to see, because it can go either way.
Thinking winner of the first leg wins the tie. Most likely. Even with City's injuries, they still have Stones and Zinchenko coming in, so
Yeah.
they'll be fine.
All right. Villarreal and Bayern Munich. We did not expect Villarreal to beat Juventus,
We did not.
but here they are.
They're here.
With the Champions League kings, almost. Bayern
Pretty
Munich.
much. I mean, Bayern Munich's insane. They don't have to try in their league ever, so
No.
they're always fully rested. I don't think Villarreal has the quality to put up with Bayern. I mean, I'm looking at this lineup here that's projected, and I don't see a team that can beat Bayern Munich. I'd say a Bayern Munich player in any position is better than every Villarreal player.
Yeah, I would agree. We're just looking at the lineup right here. I mean, there's not a single player you would take over Bayern Munich. Maybe Parejo, maybe.
Yeah,
in the midfield.
Parejo and Pau Torres, they might be the only that you can say maybe they get in, maybe they make a bench
Yeah.
for Bayern Munich, but
I mean, no. I mean, Bayern Munich, first leg, it's in Spain, we should say, but it doesn't matter. They're
Yeah.
going to.
I mean,
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Alphonso Davies, he's out. I mean, they just bring in Benjamin Pavard.
And he's been hurt pretty much the entire year.
Yeah.
Alphonso Davies, too. Who is the best player in CONCACAF, in my opinion. But
Yeah, I think so. I think he's above Pulisic.
Yeah.
And definitely better than any Mexican player. Mexican players,
Oh.
a little overrated.
We should talk about this in our next show. We are doing an international show.
Yeah.
So we should talk about this.
Goretzka, Kimmich, insane midfield there.
They're just such a run team. Well run. Like, they have such good, I don't know, just the way Bayern Munich as a club just goes about the Champions League is amazing. Like, you've never seen a club that
I don't think, do they ever bottle? They
It's
never
been-
have a bad game.
I can't remember. I honestly,
Their atmosphere must be insane. Their club, their
like
locker room atmosphere, their bond must be pretty tight.
like if you say Bayern Munich scoring, I think of their goal song they have at their stadium, because it goes off about minimum 5 times every game.
Yeah.
And they don't win every year, but they're always in at least the Final Four or at least 8 every year.
Kingsley Coman's been on fire this year. They just look so good on paper.
They're just like
They have
they're
to
kind
win
of
this
like
tie.
they're running kind of like the New England Patriots kind of football, where they just have like a identity in a system, and if you're not part of it, then they kind of just get rid of you, or they don't play you, which is kind of
And they have so many other players. Like, you have to be a part of that system. Like, you're just not going to play. They're so good. That,
And just think of the players that came and left who they had on, like James Rodriguez was on loan there.
Yeah.
Philippe Coutinho was on loan there. I mean, they had so many players that were on loan that were once upon a time, like, incredible. And Coutinho's obviously doing better
Douglas
now.
Costa.
Yeah, Douglas Costa, who's now with LA Galaxy. Fun fact.
Fun fact.
Um,
You know? I mean, they got rid of Sabitzer.
A Perisic was on there for me. I mean, they had some really quality players. But yeah, let's go with predictions. We don't really need to. If we had any Villarreal fans, Jacob, they would be so mad at us just lusting over Bayern for 3 minutes.
I mean, they got rid of, like, Javi Martinez, Jerome Boateng, and they just replaced him instantly. David Alaba. They just don't need anyone. We both said 3-0 Bayern, actually.
Yep. We don't really need. We just talked about Bayern. We don't really need. To
We don't
explain
need to explain this anymore. It's Bayern Munich, 3-0.
Yep.
I'm expecting a Liverpool Bayern semifinal.
Yep. All right, game of the week, and probably the best quarterfinals: Chelsea and Real Madrid.
My dad will definitely be listening to this part. He supports Chelsea, and the Spanish team he supports is Real Madrid. So
Does he support Chelsea because of Pulisic, or because he likes Chelsea?
we'll have to ask him.
I'll have to ask him.
Maybe he can comment on this video. You know, Dad, Mike Hernandez, drop your comment. He who probably actually doesn't know how to do that.
Oh my god.
No offense, but he watches it on the TV. Like he like puts it on the TV. Like he gets home from work and he displays it like up on the big TV. So like, I mean that's pretty cool. But I'll have to ask him and get back to you. We'll see if he supports because of Pulisic or he's actually a Chelsea supporter.
Good supportive dad, Jacob.
Very supportive. My mom listens to it in the car on the way home from work. She has about a 35-minute drive home from work, so
Well, that's perfect timing.
yeah, we'll have to try and keep it under 35 minutes so she can listen to it. We'll have to see who she supports.
Yeah.
I remember asking her what English team she supports, and I'm not sure she really understood because she did say Tottenham at first, and I said, "Mom, you cannot say Tottenham. Like that's just the only club that I cannot accept." Okay, like I don't think she realized it. What she was talking about.
I wouldn't accept that or Burnley. But
Yeah, never Burnley. No one likes Burnley.
let's go. All right, now back to this. With Chelsea.
Chelsea Madrid.
2-1
Chelsea, in my opinion.
Yep. I can't describe to you how much I'm rooting for Chelsea here. I mean,
Because screw Real Madrid. They knocked out PSG. Like, man, you ruined my life.
I don't know.
Like, just
These two teams are obviously like probably the top 3 most quality teams left, or top 4 probably.
Yeah. I think this is probably a semifinal-esque tie.
Yeah, easily, even a final, honestly.
Well, I mean, Madrid's won like a billion Champions League titles.
And Chelsea's the reigning Champions League champs. There's so much to talk about if we compared both teams. Is there any like star players I think would be a difference? Honestly, for Madrid, like Benzema, it's probably be a difference because Chelsea doesn't really have a consistent striker, even though they have Lukaku and Timo Werner on their roster.
I mean, they're playing like Havertz up top right now.
Havertz is going to be the starting striker for Germany at the World Cup, and it's going to be amazing.
Benzema, what difference is he going to make in this game? I think he's going to have to carry.
Yes.
Looking at the injuries, I mean, Chilwell, that was a big injury at the beginning of the season for Chelsea, but they've just been playing a 3 at the back /5 at the back. So James is back. Then they just have Alonso on the left. Conte, Jorginho running the midfield. They're pretty nasty. Pulisic maybe in the starting lineup.
And maybe, Pulisic, Mason Mount, Ziyech maybe. I would be shocked if Chelsea doesn't dominate this first game. Not only
at home as well.
Yeah, they are at home at Stamford Bridge, but
they have to get a result here at home.
Yeah, I just feel like that midfield of Conte, Jorginho, maybe Kovacic, Mason Mount, if he goes in there, kind of are just like they have much better legs right now than Cruz, Casemiro, and Modric. And I know Modric.
Cruz, Casemiro, Modric, Valverde.
And Modric is playing more like up top almost, not really like as a striker.
I mean, now
but
Benzema's back, so he should be able to drop a little bit deeper. But that midfield is getting a little bit older up there in age, so not sure how much they can run.
Like Casemiro is going to need to have a big day in order to.
Very big day, because he's going to have to, control that midfield. He's going to be going up against so many different attackers. He might be overwhelmed in like 2v1s the entire game.
Because I think both these teams, Jacob, are probably going to try to sit and counter, especially Madrid. But like, I think Chelsea. If someone's going to take the game to them, it's going to be Chelsea, especially because they're at home. You went 2-1 Chelsea, like you said. I went 1-1 draw. I don't think Chelsea's going to have a good scoring day, maybe in front of goal, just because of the way that they've been playing after that 4-1 loss versus Brentford. I do think they'll get a goal, though. I definitely think Madrid will probably get a goal, and I think it's going to be all to play for when they go back to Madrid.
Who are you saying in the second leg?
I hate to be that guy, but it's kind of like I have to see how the first leg goes. Sadly, but like if I had to give you an answer, it would probably be Madrid. Sadly, I have a feeling that because I don't know if it's since Chelsea won last year, I feel like Madrid's like destined to at least go to the final.
Form, a little international break and then a 4-1 loss to Brentford. Sorry, Dad. If Chelsea doesn't pick up a win here or a good result, they go back into Spain. I think they lose.
Yeah, I mean Madrid. I just feel like it might be one of the years where they at least get to the final. It just kind of feels like it. And it'd be the first time they get the post-Ronaldo era, which would be kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, Ancelotti could bottle it. I mean, it's not that good of a manager.
And Chelsea's a pretty good team at holding leads. Like, obviously, they're not like Bayern Munich or Atletico Madrid, but they can hold a lead if they have to, because they do play with 3 in the back, and they can go to 5 in the back really quick if they wanted to.
And go to like a 7 in the back.
And I think Thomas Tuchel has been a kind of underrated manager. He's
very underrated manager, and Ancelotti's been a very overrated manager. So we'll see. We'll have to see with that one.
We'll see. That's our predictions. That game's
definitely game of the week.
Yeah. That game's coming out.
To watch that one.
That game's going to come out the day this is uploaded. So we shall see. We'll obviously recap that the following week. Let's talk about a little bit MLS.
MLS, our favorites. Our favorites, but it was a really bad week for both of us, actually.
Yes.
FC Cincinnati lost both their games to Charlotte and Montreal. That's really sad. We're back down to. Are we bottom? No, we're not even bottom. We're 2-4. Inter Miami's terrible. We have the second worst goal difference, but we're in 10th out of 14. So we're grinding it out.
I'll bring some positives about SEC to start. Brandon Vasquez is
the
Golden Boot leader. He's Golden Boot leader.
He's correct. Charlotte FC kind of killed us. We didn't do anything. We actually had more expected goals than them. We didn't do anything. I know you probably are going to talk about Yuki Kubo, designated left winger playing CDM.
Okay, the second goal in the Montreal game, he tries to dribble through the midfield like he's a winger, like he's like trying to take a kid on 1v1, and he gets stripped, like totally just get absolutely like just done, and then they score. Mihailovic scores. Like, I mean, you can't like he's like he's doing like skill moves, like in front of the 6-yard box, like he's a winger, which makes no sense to me.
Yeah, so Montreal with the 4-3 win. So, I mean, they scored 3 goals, so that's pretty good. They scored a penalty, too. Like, wow.
Yeah, Costa made up for his missed penalty he did versus Miami, where he kind of just was in the Pogba run-up, and then he just put it wide.
Yeah. And then I think we gave up a goal, like, 10 seconds after he scored, like, every single time.
So, I would say, to put it in simple terms, FC Cincinnati's attack is doing really good. Vasquez is the Golden Boot leader, 5 goals. He might get a U.S. national team call-up in the summer for the Nations League games, but the defense.
But as we said, like months ago, the defense is terrible.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
And honestly, it was doing all right for a bit, but now it's 6 goals in 2 games is
I mean, 1.74 expected goals for Montreal, giving up 4. That's a big difference.
Yeah.
Alec Can not showing.
Yeah, that fourth goal was pretty bad for him. He dived and just completely missed the ball. So, I mean, oh well.
He had 2 saves and conceded 4.
Yeah.
I'm looking at his passing stats. He was accurate on 11 out of 21 passes and long balls 6 for 16. That's really not good.
Nope. I don't really think there's anything else to talk about for SEC. They
suck.
They don't play next week. So, good for them. We'll talk about this real quick and then we'll get out of here. My Columbus Crew lost 1-0 to Nashville, a night when they honored Federico Higuain, the Crew legend. They made a massive tifo for him. He was on commentary for a little bit. Nashville, my new least favorite team in the league. You know why, Jacob? You know why I hate Nashville? Because Nashville got a scrappy goal that off a cross. Our left back Pedro Santos slipped, headed in and made a 1-0 in like the 20th minute. And for the rest of the 70 minutes, they sat back 10 men and they didn't even try. So the Crew just tried to break like 2 bunkers and tried to score. They almost did, but they couldn't do it. It was a horrible game to watch.
2 banks of 5.
Yep, it was. And yeah, it was horrible to watch.
He came into class and he said, "This game was the most boring game I've ever watched in my life." He said the biggest part of the game was honoring Federico Higuain.
It was. It was the same thing for 70 straight minutes with the Crew having like 75% possession. And they couldn't score because Nashville, credit to Nashville, but gosh, Nashville, you're not going to bunker your way to a championship. Just saying. And especially because they're in the Western Conference now, which makes no sense.
Yeah, they had 19 total shots, and they got no goals. 67% possession. They're now down in 5th on 8 points. Philadelphia is kind of running away, 13 points.
And they play Philadelphia next week at Philly. Philly's been really good.
This is like a 6-point top of the table battle, you know?
And if I had to pick the 3 worst places the Columbus Crew play, it would be Chicago, probably Red Bull Arena, which is Red Bulls, and Philadelphia. They are horrendous in Philadelphia. At least it's not a Wednesday night match in July, because that's usually always when they play Philadelphia. It's always a Wednesday night in the summer. So we'll see. They always do bad in Philly. A draw would be a good result, but they kind of need a win out of these past 2 weeks. But oh well.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully your squad can get back to their winning ways, because I want to see at least one of us happy here with the club. Actually, Columbus is only 2 points ahead of FC Cincinnati. I mean, they have played one less game, but 2 points in it, I mean, that's not very good.
If I had to compare the schedule, I would say Cincinnati's had a little bit of an easier schedule.
Yeah, and we
Charlotte,
still lost 4.
Austin, Charlotte, Miami, Montreal.
Austin, DC United, Orlando, Inter Miami, Charlotte, Montreal.
The teams you just listed, I would say that the toughest games was Orlando and maybe Montreal, and they beat Orlando. And so, I mean, Cincinnati hasn't played the quote-unquote elite teams yet, except maybe Orlando.
I mean, when we play like Philadelphia or Red Bulls or
New York City,
Chicago, Columbus.
Yeah, Chicago's been a really surprise team so far with a 17-year-old goalkeeper who's only conceded 1 goal. But yeah, we should probably get out of here. Got another show to record.
We do. We'll see. You'll see them both on Wednesday, I believe. So, thank you guys for listening to the 6th episode of the Around the World podcast. We're gonna recap our Champions League predictions and preview the second leg of the Champions League on our episode next week.
Yep.
Look out for our international recap soon as well, and we will see you next time.